I discovered something during the last Arc Raiders server slam that leads me to believe we were all doing looting wrong. Keep in mind that all of this is based off of info that I got from the last playtest, as this video is being created before the launch of the game. So what exactly were we doing wrong? Well, the TLDR for all of you out there whose attention I am already losing is this. If an item's full stack weighs less than the total weight of what it breaks down into, you carry it out intact. If the items that it recycles to weigh less, then you recycle it and take those items out. If the item is heavy and provides low value, aka breaking it down results in items that we could get from other items that weigh less, we skip it. If this theory is correct, we could be looting so much more with the space and weight limits that we are given than what many of us were bringing out during the playtest. So the easiest way for me to break this down for you is to take a look at a single item. Now, do note that this propagates across many items, but this is just an example of a single item so I can explain the overall theory. I can't stress that enough because recently in my videos, when I give an example, it's all some people can fixate on. This is an example. It happens multiple times. It's not just the item we're going to take a look at. So our example item is duct tape. A single duct tape weighs 0.25 of whatever our weight system is for a single one. It stacks to a total max stack of 15. The max stack weighs 3.75. All right, so now that we know that, a single duct tape recycles into 3 fabric. Those 3 fabric weigh a total of 0.45. So 3 fabric weighs more than 1 duct tape. A full stack of 15 duct tape will give you 45 fabric. Fabric stacks to a max stack of 50. The total weight for a full stack of fabric is 7.5. This means that if you carry out a full stack of 15 duct tape, you are essentially compressing the weight of 45 fabric from 6.75 down to 3.75. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, but we also have slots to manage, so it's slots plus weight. Yes, this is true. If we fill 2 slots with a full stack of fabric each, that's 100 fabric that we would be pulling out. That is also 15, we'll call it pounds of weight that you are also having to carry out. If you have 2 slots taken up with 15 duct tape each, you're only pulling out 90 fabric, but that 90 fabric is only going to weigh what a single stack would weigh. And there are a ton of items that compress weight like this. Arc alloy, for example, batteries, wires, oil, steel springs, all of those do the exact same thing and compress the weight of the things that they break down into. Now, there are some outliers here that don't exactly do that. For example, crude explosives, a single crude explosive weighs 0.5. It only stacks to 10, making its max stack weight 5 pounds. Each one of those crude explosives breaks down into 3 chemicals, which means the full stack of 10 breaks down into 30 chemicals, which have a total weight of 4.5. So unless you need the crude explosives for a specific recipe, you're best off just not looting those altogether, as this full stack of chemicals would weigh 7.5 for a full stack of 50 of them, and the crude explosives themselves don't condense the weight, so it's best just to leave them alone. And you can see this across a bunch of different items, even items from different tiers. But items also tell you what they craft into if they are used in specific recipes. Now, it's unclear at this point if this is only recipes that you know, or if everything is used in something, but the rusted tools do not say they are used in any recipe. Rusted tools weigh a total of 6 pounds. They break down into 24 metal parts and 3 steel springs. So your best option, if you pick up a set of rusted tools, theoretically would be to break them down, throw out the metal parts, and keep the steel springs. The steel springs are only going to weigh 0.75 for the 3 that you're getting out of it. The total stack of 15 steel springs will only weigh 3.75 and will net you more metal parts as a whole as opposed to the rusted tools. So 3 rusted tools is only going to give you 24 metal parts. That takes up an entire slot. 15 steel springs will break down into 30 metal parts and only takes up 1 slot. So you're doing yourself a massive disservice by taking the rusted tools out in their blue form instead of breaking them down. Now, once again, it's unclear whether these will be used in a recipe or are used in a recipe, and we won't know until we get the full copy of the game and we can actually start to unlock a variety of blueprints. Maybe a situation where we have to know the blueprint before it shows us if said thing is used in a recipe, which would make sense, but it could also be a situation where just some stuff won't be used in a recipe. And I do realize that in some situations, like with a lot of the green items, you won't pull as much stuff out in one go, but you should never actually be overweight. And this is something that I noticed during my time playing because because in one of my tips videos, I told people to stop looting all the gray items that the chicken makes. And I was practicing what I preach in my later games, and I was never overweight. In one instance early on, I actually started breaking down every single thing that I was finding just to see if I could get more out. And as soon as I started to do that and filling my inventory up with gray items, I was overweight. Overweight is a killer in this game. This will get you killed quicker than anything because it causes you to move slower and use more stamina, which is basically a death sentence. So from what I can tell with just my preliminary data here, once again, I'm going to need a lot more data to figure all of this out 100%, but in theory, it looks like there should be a situation where there's just items we never loot, items that we definitely always break down, throw pieces out, and keep other pieces, and items that we always loot because we're going to break them down later for their base resources. And considering the fact that higher level items break down into the next tier items, so for example, blue breaks down into green and the pink breaks down into blue items, this should mean that we have a situation where we should never be without items that we would otherwise maybe loot but aren't the best to loot. For example, let's say we have item A. Item A is a blue item and it's used in a bunch of different recipes. Looting it though is a bad thing to do because it's super heavy. Item A may be inside item B, which is a pink item, so it would be best to ignore item A and just loot item B every time we see it. So if we need item A, we can just break down one or two or however many of our item Bs that we have found and use those instead. And you're like, but what if I need item B for recipes as well? Well, if you're only ever looting item B in order to get item A as well, you're gonna have an abundance of item B. So I think there is definitely a method to the madness here when it comes to weight conservation, as well as just taking more items out. For example, those rusted tools, breaking them down to the steel springs. You're gonna get more items out because you're gonna be able to carry more. You're not gonna be overweight, so you're gonna reduce your chance of dying and basically getting out with nothing. And there are some items where these weight differences are absolutely crazy. For example, rubber pads. Rubber pads only stack to 3. Those 3 rubber pads weigh a total of 6 pounds. They break down into a total of 8.1 pounds of rubber parts. Power banks, on the other hand, only stack to a total of 3 as well and weigh a total of 6 pounds. If you break them down, you get 6 batteries and 6 wires for a total weight of 3. A full stack of batteries and a full stack of wires only weighs 1.5 pounds more than that one stack of power banks. So by taking up 2 slots by breaking down the power banks, you're pulling out significantly more material for less weight than you would have if you took up 2 slots worth of power banks, because that would cost you 12 as opposed to the 7.5 that you're using up for carrying out a stack of batteries and a stack of wires. I hope all this makes sense. I feel like I'm having a difficult time trying to explain this to you all, but I definitely think there is something here. I also think that I need more data to figure it out. I don't think we've seen all of the items that are available in the game, and I know for sure we have not seen all of the recipes. But I do know one thing for a fact, and that is being overweight is definitely a death sentence. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up there. If you found this video helpful or informational in any way, please consider hitting the subscribe button and notification bell so you be notified when I upload other videos. And if you're looking for some more of my content, you can find a link to another one of my videos on the screen right now. I want to give an absolute massive shout out and thank you to all of my channel supporters for helping to keep these videos sponsor free. You all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to become an official channel supporter, check out the links in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.